So it is Saturday morning, April 3rd at 8:15 a.m. Um, I am just coming off of a week off, or 6 days off from work. I was off the Friday before. Last weekly weigh-in was a week ago Thursday. I think it was 247 and change. I had, you know, proclaimed that I was going to keep my diet under control on this break. I have not. I have done a lot of stress eating as I've done throughout the course of Q1. And, I've named this video hitting the reset button because I'm just going to use Q2 as kind of a cutoff. I think, I'm not going to call Q1 a disaster because my last weigh-in I was 247 and I didn't gain weight. And I'm going to consider that a success considering stress has been the biggest source of my weight gain. You know, lack of prioritization in terms of my health. Throughout Q1, I had a very stressful ongoing situation that's still ongoing. But I'm going to dial it back up. I'm going to work through the stress better. I'm going to make this a priority in the way I did in 2020. I did not struggle with my discipline in 2020. The main thing was there were times where I would get busy, or there were times where I was working so hard that I was dealing with a lot of fatigue, and at times I'd be inconsistent with my lifting. I was never inconsistent with my running, even at my busiest times, even during working on the budget in July, August, and September of last year, where I was typically working nothing crazy like in my NASDAQ days where I was working till 10, 11 on a regular basis, working every weekend, but pretty consistently Monday through Thursday, I was kind of working 8 to 8, 8 to 9. Friday, I always made it a point to cut it at like 5, 6 at the latest. Rarely worked on the weekends. There were some times I worked on the weekends, but nothing insane. But when I'm working those 12, 11-hour days, it's hard to find 2 hours to work out. If I was doing my running, I would get up, run from 6 to 7, shower up, be at my desk at 8. But throughout all of that, my diet was consistent and I was able to maintain progress. The diet is the single most important part. And that's what no one ever wants to admit. It doesn't matter how much I run. It doesn't matter how much I lift. My diet drives everything. And it's been a ramp up, ramp down, ramp up, ramp down this quarter in Q1. I was fine not losing any weight after November 6th when I got under 250 because, I was running 30 to 40 miles a week, basically from August up until that first week in November. And I just felt tired as fuck. Like, I was absolutely spent. And I said to myself, and I said it on my channel, if I get under 250 early, I'm going to dial it back. And that's what I did. I did need a break. I was doing 2 10-mile runs a week. And then I was doing 2 to 3, 5 to 6 mile runs every week. One week I did hit 40 miles. Because I ran 6 days and I had 2 10-mile runs. But I think that only happened once. I was pretty consistently 30 to 35. And I was just tired as hell. So I needed a break. So I am fine with finishing the year just under 250. I'm disappointed in the progress in Q1 because I did intend to pick it back up. But with my last weigh-in being 247, I'm going to consider that a success, just considering the history of my weight with stress. This week, I ate really poorly. So I just weighed in. I haven't looked at the results yet, so I'm going to share that on camera. But it is time to dial it back up. And I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm not going to go back to the 40-hour fast because I do have a triathlon July 11th. I'm going to actually cut my fasting dates from 3 to 2 because I need to ramp up my training. But the most important thing with me is getting my diet back under control. But before I get into any of that, let's check where I am after I just got off the scale. Okay, so let me go into my Garmin app. And where do I see this? health stats. So that's where I am today. I did step on the scale every day until Wednesday, I believe it was. And when I saw that I just was not keeping my discipline, I stopped weighing myself. But I promised myself, for accountability's sake, I'm not going to wait until next Friday. I would post a video and show what my weight is. So I am 262 pounds, up 1.9 pounds from Wednesday. My BMI is up to 29.5 from 28. Body fat went over the 30% threshold. Body water is holding steady. I don't know what bone mass means. I know what skeletal muscle mass means, but that's where I am. My average weight has been about 260. My average BMI has been 292. And it doesn't have my last weigh in. But that's where I am right now. So what does hitting the reset button mean? It doesn't mean any crazy diet. I'm not going to start starving myself and trying to work out 3-4 hours a day. What I was doing last year was making me very successful, and I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on consistency. I'm going to focus on my diet. Nothing insane. I'm going to ramp up my training because I have a triathlon in 3 months, July 11th. So I'm going to have to incorporate biking, and I get my second vaccine shot next Saturday. 2 weeks after that, I'll be fully vaccinated, and I'm going to start swimming 3 days a week. So between the biking and the swimming, I won't be able to lift probably more than 3 days a week. So I'm going to focus on that. But for the month of April, just considering, it'll be 3 weeks until I'll feel comfortable going swimming until I'm fully vaccinated. I'm going to lift 4 days a week, and I'm going to bike probably 2 days a week. And then when I start swimming, I'm going to drop the lifting from 4 to 3. I have decided to just take off any intermediate goals in terms of dates. Like, I know I've been saying I'm going to focus on getting in 230 by July 1st. I'm going to scratch that. I just have 2 stated goals by the end of this year, and they're not new. I want my total weight under. My wife and I just booked for a vacation in December. We're going to Disney. We fly out on December 24th. By December 23rd, I'm going to do a weigh-in just like I did last year for my Christmas break. And I want my total body weight to be under 220 pounds. 219.999 is fine with me. Under 220 pounds. I haven't been under 225 since 1996. And I want my body fat under 18%. Those are my 2 stated goals for the year. That is my target. The weightlifting is really going to have to kick in after this triathlon, because as you've seen, my body fat has not moved all that much. My highest body fat on my old scale was like close to 40%, but I'm still floating around 30, as you can see, despite the fact that even now, even where I stand, I've lost 80 pounds, which is much more than 10% of my body fat. I mean, I was 340 when I was like 37-38% body fat, and I've lost 20% of my body fat, I guess 80 pounds off of 340, 25% of my body weight, and I've lost less than 10% body fat. So I need to ramp it up. I'm pretty much set on not doing any marathons this year, because that's just going to put me in a position where all I can do is run. I was pretty hell-bent on that. I spoke to my wife about it yesterday, but I see that I cannot defer my marathon registration, and it was like $350, but I may just let that go. They're not letting anyone defer this year. I guess they're considering that I've already deferred, even though they didn't have the event, but I'm not going to throw the Chicago Marathon under the bus. They offered me the option for a full refund. I felt set on doing it. When they canceled last year, I deferred until this year. So they said no deferrals for people who have come in through a deferral from the canceled marathon last year. So I would lose my entry fee. I was like $350, $400, but they said I'd get guaranteed entry. I'd have to, for 2022, I'd have to pay the fee, but I'm starting to feel like it's worth it because I want to get my body right. My back is injured yet again. I feel good today, but it's been 2 weeks of having a hurt back. The last couple of days it's been fine. I haven't felt anything today, so I feel ready to go. I'm gonna do a 4 mile run today, and I'm gonna lift this evening. Um, but I've got to build up my core. I've got to put on muscle to get that body fat down. And part of me just wants to dial it in and focus on my body as opposed to focusing on a race. Um, and the biggest thing with me is the lifting. I have to do a lot of lifting to get my body fat down. And if I just run and run and run, my weight will come down, but my body fat's going to stay where it is. And I honestly just want my body done this year. I may have some curiosity to see if I could get to 10% or below 10% next year, but that's not a goal. Like, that's not, the 18% is about being 80 and 90 and still going for jogs and having vitality and getting out of chairs without a problem. The 18% body fat, the 220, is about my heart health. 10% is about aesthetics. If I do it, great. If I don't do it, honestly, right now, I'll tell you I don't give a shit. I know myself. I know if I do get to, let me not saying if. I know when I get under 18%, I'll start saying, man, I'm not that far from 10. Let's see what it's like to have a 10% and maybe get a six pack. That's not the goal. That would be curiosity. That's not something I would plan to maintain into my 70s and 80s. 220, 18% body fat is the goal to maintain for life. That is about life longevity. So, that's where I stand on that. I'm not saying I won't try to do it, but it's not a goal. That would purely be aesthetics. It's unnecessary. It might be cool to have. I don't know if I can do it, but it's not something that's in my conscious mind. I'm trying to focus on this year, and I'm really just trying to focus on doing the things I did in 2020 to make myself successful. I'm going to stick to my 2 cheat meals. I started saying, well, what if I just had no cheat meals in April? And getting into that mindset of trying to rush is always how I go up and down and up and down. I'll have no cheat meals next weekend, and then the following weekend I'll have 3 or 4. Let's focus on what was making me successful. Let's focus on running 5 days a week. Let's focus on lifting 4 days, and I'm going to do 2 bike rides. I'm going to do one on a bike trainer, and I'm going to do one outside as I start to get my legs ready for this triathlon. It's not going to be a huge test for me. Let's just be honest. The only thing that's going to be difficult is the swim. It's a 0.9 mile swim in the Hudson River with the current at my back in a wetsuit. My brother says a wetsuit feels like having on a life preserver. He's done the triathlon twice. It's a 25-mile bike ride. I was doing that every weekend last year, and I was not tired. And then a 10K. I can get out of this chair and run 13 miles right now. So I don't think this is going to be a killer. The only thing I'm worried about is the swim, because I'm a terrible swimmer and I haven't swam since before COVID. And even then I was struggling to swim the length of a 25-meter pool. So that's the one area that I'm very worried about. And I'm going to start swimming 3 days a week as soon as I hit fully vaccinated. But I know I can get there in 2 months, so I'm not going to stress about it. But the important thing is getting my diet back on track, getting my discipline, getting consistency where, last year I would go for months without, breaking my diet. I had my 2 cheat meals every week where I ate whatever I want. Certain times I ate an entire pizza and drank a 2-liter. I would go crazy sometimes, but that release every Friday and Saturday helped me stay consistent from Saturday night when I had my second cheat meal until my next cheat meal on Friday. And when 95% of the time, my diet is A1 with the fasting, And with the working out, that's why you saw me lose 55 pounds last year. I have not been consistent this year. So it is really time to dial it back up. No crazy knee-jerk reactions to this week. I know I've put on this kind of weight several times over the course of vacations. That's why I'm not freaking out. And I usually lose it within a week or two. But what I need to focus on is that diet consistency over long periods of time, like I did last year. And here I am saying, like last year, one of the things I said on my channel consistently last year, I'm not doing this to be in a situation 3-4 years from now where I'm 320 pounds and I'm like, back in 2020, with that and all of that. Q2, I hit the reset button. The diet is first before anything. The diet is first. 2 cheat meals a week, 2 fast days a week, staying on my diet, otherwise consistency. Nothing but water during the week. Consistency. And I need to do this over long periods of time. No knee jerk, no starving myself trying to work out 3-4 hours a day. If it takes 2-3 weeks to get back to 250, so be it. As long as I'm on my diet, as long as I'm consistent with my running, as long as I'm consistent with my lifting, I'm fine with that. And we need to move out of this little range of 246 to 250 that I've been in for 5 months now. It's time to start making progress. If the progress beyond that area doesn't happen until May, I'm fine with that. The focus is on getting my diet back under control. It's been consistent. A good week, a good 2 weeks, then a shit week, and I'm resetting. Now, Q2, we get refocused.